So I want you guys to log into your AWS console, and so you'll see something like launch instance, launch virtual machine also. Yes. So click on that. Click on that blue button that says launch virtual machine or launch instance, or you can go to services on top, go to EC2, and you'll see the same interface as I was seeing earlier. Okay. And we will all follow these steps very closely. I want all of so on the left hand side, you see this little checkbox, free tier only. So we'll check this checkbox. And right above that, you see a link that says Community AMIs. We'll click on Community AMIs. It'll open various operating systems for you. Second from bottom, you see Ubuntu. Okay. We will check on the checkbox next to Ubuntu, and your list on the right hand side should refresh. As soon as you check Ubuntu, your list on the right hand side should refresh. Now, in this list, we have to find Ubuntu 16.04 or a 14.04 image. Yeah, here's a 16.04. So Ubuntu images, HVM, SSD, Ubuntu Xenial 16.04, AMD 64 server. So I'm highlighting, guys, what we have to look for. So look at my machine and look for this AMI. Make sure it is 16.04. There's a similar one for 18.04 also above. We're not going to do this on 18.04. We'll do this on 16.04. You're all able to find this image? Select people, moving on. If you're not able to find it yet, okay. It will by default select a general purpose tier 2 micro, free tier eligible. Okay. 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM, EBS only, low to moderate. This is fine. This is good enough for what we are going to do. There are many other machines. All of these are not free. If you select something which is not free, you will be charged for it. So try to stick to the steps that I'm doing. Click next configuration instances. So we're not changing anything here. General purpose tier 2 micro, free tier eligible is fine. We'll click on next configure instances. One instance is fine for now. We need more instances, but we'll come back later and create those. We were not going to add any more storage. It has 8 GB of disk space. This is fine enough for us. We don't need more. Click on add tags. Next, no tags, leave it for now. Next is security groups, and this is where you guys are going to watch very carefully. We're going to add a few security rules here. All right. Click on add rule. In the drop down, select custom ICMP rule IPv4. In my list, it's the third from top. Again, click on add rule. All ICMP IPv4. Again, click on add rule. All traffic. Again, click on add rule. HTTP. Again, click on add rule and HTTPS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should have 6 rules in your security group. SSH, custom ICMP, IPv4, all ICMP, IPv4, all traffic, HTTP and HTTPS. There's a source column for each of these rules, which by default says custom. We're going to change that to anywhere for all 6 rules. Change it to anywhere for all the 6 rules. The source column for all the rules, change it to anywhere. We'll click on review and launch and click on launch. Security group name is launch wizard 1. That is fine. I have many launch wizards, so mine would be very different number. So that's fine. Okay. When you will click on the launch button, it will pop up a key pair message for you. Since we're going to be making a remote connection to this virtual machine on AWS cloud, we need SSH keys. We will talk about SSH keys later in some lesson. But for now, understand, for those of you who have not worked with SSH keys, it's a secure key pair that we use whenever making connection to remote machines. If you have an existing key pair, if you've been working with AWS and you have an existing key pair, you can choose that. If not, please create a new key pair. In this drop down, click on create a new key pair. Give a name to your key pair, like DevOps or something like that. Whatever, you can call your key pair whatever you like, and click on download key pair. This step is not optional, guys. If you don't do this, you will not be able to connect to your virtual machine. As simple as that. Okay. So give a name to your key pair and download the key pair. Click on this. It'll download a file with an extension PEM. Let it download that. I'm going to use an existing key pair. I already have one. So once you have downloaded the PEM file, click on Launch Instances. While this is downloading, you will need a tool called PuTTY and PuTTYgen to make a remote connection. So you can download PuTTY from here. Does it have a link for PuTTYgen also? No, it doesn't. Okay, download PuTTY from here, install it. It's a small tool. And next I need is PuTTYgen also. And once PuTTY is installed, you should see it in your start menu. So this is Gen in that. While your instance is starting, we'll install this. Installed PuTTY. To see that, we'll go to services, click on this little arrow, we'll go to EC2, and we'll go to instances on the left hand side, and my instance has come up. So this is the one I created. It is running. My status check says 2 checks completed. What about you guys? Has your virtual machine started, come up? Sure, you see that. Okay, wonderful. So our VMs have come up to our VM. So in this name, you see this little pencil thing. So click on this and give a name to your virtual machine. I will call mine DevOps 1. You can call yours DevOps. I already have one DevOps for my other batch. So I'm going to call this one DevOps 1. So give a name to your VM. Connect to our virtual machines. We will open PuTTYgen, program PuTTYgen. So open that. This is how it would look like. Okay, click on File, Load Private Key. Go to your downloads folder. Downloads is where your PEM file would have been downloaded if you did not give a specific URL location. So go to your downloads folder, and here in files, it'll say PuTTY private key. We will change it to all files. So change it to all files, and this is where you will now see your PEM file. So I have you would have whatever name you gave to your key, and click on open. It'll give you a notice, okay. You should see your key loaded in this little window on top. Okay, we will click on save private key. The button that says save private key, it'll say, are you sure you want to save this key without a passphrase? That's fine. It is just a training environment. Okay, now you have to give a name to your key, and I suggest save it on your desktop. Okay, don't save it in your downloads folder. You're going to be needing this key again and again, so just save it on your desktop. Give a name, so let's say DevOps. Give a name to your key, and you can see it will save it as PuTTY private key file ppk extension, and click on save. That's all. After you've done this, we will close, and you should have a devops.ppk file on your desktop now. Let's open PuTTY, the tool PuTTY. So you can see it on my screen, how it should look like after you've opened it. Okay, we will go back to our VM once. So we'll go back to our AWS. Again, I need you to look at my screen for a minute. Select your virtual machine. Make sure you have this blue selection. Click on the connect button on top. This will give you the URL to connect to your VM. We will copy only from Ubuntu till the end. You will not copy the whole line. You will not copy from SSH-I. You will only copy from Ubuntu till the end. Select it and do a Control C. Okay, I'll go to my PuTTY and paste whatever I copied in the host name or IP address field. Okay, next we will, on the left hand side, you see a SSH with a plus in front of that. We will open that SSH on the left pane of your PuTTY. We'll open this SSH. Under that, you will see auth. We'll select auth, and here it'll ask you to give the private key. So you will browse to your ppk file, wherever you placed your ppk file. You'll select your ppk file and open. In SSH auth private key file for authentication, you will browse and select your ppk file, and now click on open. So it will throw you a security alert, something like this. The server's host key is not cached in registry. That's fine. Yes, please load it. And once you click on yes, it should open a connected to your virtual machine. So your prompt should show Ubuntu @ whatever is the IP address of your virtual machine. Actually, I wanted to do was install Git, but let's do this. I know source code repositories. So this is our first command, sudo apt-get update. Apt-get is a package manager for Ubuntu, and by giving this command, we are just refreshing the package. Package manager is apt-get, and we're just updating it since it's open source. We're just refreshing the guy. That way it pulls the latest packages that are being added. It refreshes the mirror URLs and all of that. So once you've done executing this command, this is where you should end up, you could see different results here. Basically, it should say reading package list done. The next command to install Git. Command is sudo apt-get install Git. Git is one of the packages in this package manager called apt-get, and we're giving a command to install that. After running this, we should be able to run the command git ---- version. It will tell us it is installed git version 2.7.4. So that's it.